This is the Smart Marketing Show, episode number 190, WordPress and Google Ads on a budget. Brought to you by ServerPress, Maker's Desktop Server. They make local WordPress development easy. Check them out at serverpress.com. Support us over on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/WPwatercooler. I'm Jason Tucker. I'm an IT director and web developer. You can find me at Jason Tucker on Twitter. It's my friend and co-host, Bridget Willard. She's a marketing consultant. She can be found at Bridget M. Willard on Twitter. Like us as a podcast, go over to Apple Podcasts, find our podcast, and leave us a review over there. We'd appreciate that. Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Hey, guys.
I just want to preface this: the folks that are watching the video, I am not currently driving, but I am in my driving seat.
You're in the driver's seat. All right.
I'm in the driver's seat.
In more ways than one. As the one who makes the show happen, thank you very much.
No problem.
To everybody who's watching, I decided to ask Warren Laine-Naida as a guest because my other friend, Alex Denning with Ellipsis, get Ellipsis on Twitter, with Ellipsis Marketing, wrote a big blog post about Google Ads, display network ads, and WordPress, and how much money you really need to spend on that. And I was like, Warren's always talking about $1 a day or €1 a day if you're in Europe. £1 a day, probably, if you're in the UK, which you do work in the UK, right?
I've got a client in the UK.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah.
So, you can spend as much money as you want or as little. Right now, I have you running some ads for me, because why do it when you can outsource to somebody who knows what the hell they're doing? And because Google Ads has always mystified me. It feels like the stock market, right, Jason? It's like you're bidding on keywords. It could go up, it could go down. You have a daily budget. Like, when does it stop? Like, what kind of a bill am I going to get? So the first month, my bill was $53 with 3 ads. So it's not that bad. Like, I'm getting more from those search ads than I would with Google. And so,
Facebook.
With Facebook boosted posts. And I've recommended my clients not do that. Alex Denning was saying you really need to spend $10,000 a month, or have that budget, or $10,000 a year, whatever it was $10,000, which a lot of WordPress people don't have or aren't willing to spend, which is really sad, because marketing, it should be like about 15% of your budget of your sales. So if you're spending $100,000, then your marketing budget should be whatever, if that's your revenue, So anyway, and you talk about search ads. So can you talk about the difference between SEA, which is search ads, search engine ads or whatever, and Google Display Network? Can you kind of demystify that?
Oh, okay. SEA is search engine advertising, so this is any advertising that goes into assisting, your search engine, findability. Here we're talking basically about the search ads, text ads. Google also offers display network ads. This includes, your apps, your YouTube ads, and things like this. But basically, what really helps, and what I focus on a lot with my clients, and what we do with your ads is these are straight out search ads and text ads. And there you can put in your keywords. They might appear in the top or the bottom when someone's searching for this product or for your name. And these are really inexpensive ways to boost your findability in Google search. And I mean, they're not the only ones to do it. Bing does it, Yahoo does it, but okay,
Yeah.
I mean, they're 90% of the game. So, I mean, let's just talk Google search.
Exactly. So I'm always talking about brand awareness, right? And
Yeah.
I know you make a big deal out of Google My Business because it is that
Oh,
extra
yeah.
part of the screen,
Yeah.
because that's, when somebody searched for you, because it's validation and discovery, right? They hear about you. Now they're going to look you up. They're going to look up. And so they want to see that you want to use that real estate. So search engine advertisers, search ads, right? Search ads do the same thing, whereas you can be looking for somebody and then it shows.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, search ads, I mean, are really, they're small. I mean, the benefit with Google My Business, of course, is you've got your logo, you've got your products, you just a massive amount of real estate. This is gold. The search ads, you might not see them right away. I mean, they all look the same. They don't look much different than your organic results. So it's certainly good to have and good to see. The click is great, but this is something I always hear you say. You're paying for eyeballs. You're paying to have people look and see, and that's half of your dollar a day or your euro a day, if you will, and then the other half is what you're learning, what Google is telling you from all of these things that are happening. Because even if someone doesn't see your ad and doesn't click on it, you're still profiting from being present there, even if no one sees you.
And so, like, I know for me, so Jason, one of my keywords is WordPress plugin. You're not allowed to have trademarks in your actual advertising, and even if the foundation doesn't go after you, Google won't let you have it in the actual words, but you can have that as in the keyword where they find you, but not in the actual text ad, because you put in a bunch of different headlines, and then Google plays like, let's roll the dice, and you can pin whichever one you want to be at the end, like the call to action, but like pretty much it just randomly shuffles them or whatever their math does. But I noticed that if you type in WordPress plugin, because I'm running ads for how to market your plugin, right? There's only 4 people using those search ads. It's Bridget Willard, Give WP, Elementor, and WP Engine. So this is a blue ocean for WordPress people if they would spend the money doing this.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. That's a big subject because WordPress is this is a brand. You can't just use it there. You can, when the ads are running, you can look in and see what keywords that Google is suggesting to you, because once you've got your ads running, they always make suggestions. Here's another couple of hundred, and you could get thousands of keywords that are related to your ad. Which is fine. What's really good though is that you can see what search terms people used that activated your ad, and then you can see then there'll be brand names like yours. You see Avanto, you see Tribe, events, you see WordPress. In my ads you see Drupal, etc., and in my client ads, you'll see tons and tons of brand names, and then you can select if those keywords should be blocked, if they don't do you any good, or if you can add them to your keyword list, and then Google knows, this word is then relevant. So it's really a growth thing,
And you can add it to the copy of your landing page.
Yes and no. I mean, you can, but
if it's a natural,
for us, we're offering, we work in WordPress. We can, use these terms, but if we weren't using WordPress, then you would probably be stepping on some toes, and possibly then also have legal issues or issues with Google if you were writing copy. It's like, this plugin is not a Drupal plugin. Well, they have modules, and you can't start throwing in these terms.
No, I don't mean like keyword stuffing.
Okay.
No, I just mean like for example, I'm kind of like opening my strategy up here, which is really your strategy, but
our strategy.
So I'm like telling the people, okay, like, here's us undressing. So for how to market your plugin and for launch with words, like we've done that, and for keys being social.
Yeah.
But right now I've got $2 down. How to market your plugin. Okay. So I'm seeing people are typing in Jason, events plugin, calendar plugin, slider plugin. So in my copy of for the landing page on how to market your plugin, because you can't run an ad for Amazon. You can run an ad to your website, you know? So I have a landing page for my book, right? And so what I put in there is, are you building an events calendar plugin?
Yes.
Are you building a slider plugin?
Right.
And so that becomes a little more relevant.
Yes.
You know, but if it says something that has nothing to do with it, then we add it to a negative keyword.
If people are, they're looking for maybe the dark web, and then you see, wow, I've had 15 clicks because people are looking at the dark web and are landing on my web book. Well, yeah, then, you might want to put that as a negative. So it has nothing to do with me. Yeah, it's exactly what you were saying about, the terms, because there'll be terms that maybe you're not aware of. It's also a learning experience. In the same way as Google questions, you can see what questions people are asking. You can use this really well for your own FAQs. You can start giving added value to people, to your website. So when people are looking for they have a question, that you're helping them answer it. Maybe they're not buying your product, but you're part of the equation. And I think that's really important in our business.
But that does kind of give me a little bit of wow, Bridget's advertising, and so is Give, it's that association. But okay, so we had Adrian Toby from Groundhog on a couple of times, and he talked about on the first episode, remember Jason, where he was like, I threw away $3,000 on ads really fast because nobody knew who I was. So doing these Google ads, so can you kind of give some advice, Warren, for WordPress products? How could they make the most out of their $1 a day search ads?
Okay, well, WordPress products are really international. The smaller budgets for small businesses really work really well, for local ads. And for products where people are really looking for a specific product that they can match with a name. One of the advantages, one of the great things about WordPress is that it is, it's international. It covers all languages. It's really a democratic product. And it has tens of thousands of plugins and hundreds of thousands of themes, or the other way around. And that's a really great thing. On the flip side, that makes it then difficult because, people are they're not looking for the name of a plugin, maybe so much as they're looking for functionality. They're looking to solve a problem. And so are a lot of other, people, and a lot of vendors are trying to solve this problem, can solve the problem, and there's a lot of products out there. So it's a big pond. So I think probably, the first step that I would be advising people to do is similar to what you're doing. Take a few steps back and go, what exactly does our plugin, what problem does our plugin solve? What would people be looking to solve that our product, can deliver, and work that way? I know for myself, a client wants to, has a problem they need to solve with their website. I'm looking and say, okay, I wonder if there's a plugin to do that, and you start putting in the words like, WordPress plugin, and then whatever that issue is that they have, so you try to really narrow it down. But, well, I'm in the business, so maybe I know that. So maybe the step back, for someone else would be, just directly that problem, how do I do this on my website? And so the first step, for the money, I think really is understanding what people are searching for. I think most of the plugin developers, most of the companies, they have more than $1 a day or €1 a day. They should. And it's obviously the more money that you put in, the faster you're going to understand who the people are out there, what are they looking for, and you're able to answer their, to respond to their demands quicker, So, if you can do like $2 or $5 or $10 a day, and you're probably going to need to do that for a more generic service, like, calendar plugin. That's a pretty broad search, but probably most people are going to go in, calendar plugin for my website. Whoa, you and I don't know what, 10, 15 other people are going to be using this sort of term. So, I would really be thinking about what does mine do that is very unique, and what unique problems, like for a calendar problem I always have and my clients is booking.
Right.
Yeah.
That, and so I'd be like, okay, that's something. And there I could start to put my money on these sorts of terms because they're very specific.
Okay, so you said that you want to learn for $5 to $10 a day if you're just starting. So how long do you need to spend that? I mean, that's easily $200.
Well, it goes back to what's your goal? What are you trying to do? Do you want to use Google Ads so people click on your ad and purchase your product? Or are you using Google Ads to understand and learn what's happening out there?
Research, clicking, brand awareness.
Yeah, these are different things and require different budgets. I start up all of my clients who are new to Google Ads. I always start them up on $1, like on €1, maybe €2, maybe. So then they understand what's happening. I've been doing this for the last year with these 7 clients, and each of them have got business on this. They've all got clients of their own now, based on this. And they do this until they say, okay, now I'm good. And then they just reduce the budget to, like, some of them are doing 25 cents, 50 cents. So they're still active. That said, we have other clients where the daily budget is much more in the sort of $10,000 and up league, but the goal is different. The goal then is people finding the ad, clicking on the ad, and purchasing the product. And then your 100 a day or 1,000 a day is fine because your product, is you're selling a $30,000 or $40,000 product. So then that makes sense.
Yeah,
so it really goes down to what you're doing.
That's like your salesperson. If you're paying a salesperson, they're going to have their little black book that they're going to go through. Instead of the little black book, you have somebody who's doing a search for something, and hopefully you're answering the questions that they're looking for. I have a question for you regarding, and these are more of like Jason worries.
Jason worries.
You can help me out with some of these.
Okay.
So one of the worries that I have is, and these are worries that I imagine other people are also going to have. That I'm kind of speaking for the people here. When someone does a search for my product, so let's say it's Gravity Forms. So somebody does a Google search for Gravity Forms, and they find that Gravity Forms isn't running an ad currently.
Okay.
So there's no ad that shows up on the top, but you have Ninja Forms, you have like all your competitors are showing up at the top there. If Gravity Forms then goes and starts running ads, so now when somebody does a search for Gravity Forms, the ad shows up there, and someone clicks on it because it's literally the first thing that shows up, and they click on it, they're essentially paying for someone to come to their website.
Yeah.
Where on a normal Google search, the result, you're not paying for the result because it's just a Google search.
Yeah, but you paid for all that content marketing. Like you paid for Bridget to write all those words.
Yeah. But you're not paying per click or per acquisition or per 1,000 or any of that. You're just getting it for free because your name ranks high in your name. So how do you explain this to your customers that having that ad on the top is essentially bumping them up to being the first in Google, but you're also going to pay for it?
Okay. Well, I mean, the ad also might be at the bottom.
True.
It might also be on the second page.
True.
Or the third. I think it's important that if you're going to be visible on the first page, if your SEO is that good, or if people are searching for a name or a product that locally is very unique. So I'm thinking of a client. She doesn't run Google Ads because her name and what she does, there's no one else with that name nor what she does in this city. So it's impossible not to find this person. So when she was asking me, she said, do I need ads? It was like, well, no, you don't, because in any way that I try to find you, I can. And so this is just extra money. Unless you would like to pay to learn what people maybe are doing, outside of that, but really you don't need to. Then I've got some other people, who are sort of in the middle. There's a lot of people doing what they do, and then this money that you're paying, like I say, I see it as being split. Maybe the people click on the ad, and you've paid for your click, but maybe they've seen you, there's the organic, and your organic is always larger. You've got a larger bit of real estate, and they're probably going to click on that.
Yeah. So should I share my screen?
If you would like to, sure. Okay, what are you sharing?
What the heck? I don't need your tips, weirdo. So I'll just show you, like, for some reason, my ad isn't showing. But when I put market WP plugin, these are the organic results, right? And it's just like you said, here's give at the bottom. It says ad right there.
Okay.
And then there's give. So, like that is like, it's not always at the top. That's not a guarantee.
And I may be by saying that I may have added to it, but what I'm getting at is, like, should you be running an ad just because of the fact that you want to make sure that your name is being used for an ad? Because your competitors are definitely going to be using your name and your space in their ad in order to be able to, I'd imagine,
Give is clearly outbidding me.
Not happening, but the Gravity Forms and Ninja Forms are battling it out between who's going to have their ad show up, because the word forms is in both of their names. They have a little bit of credibility to that, but then add on to it the fact that it's like these two could potentially be pretty competitive, just like your customer that you're talking about. Maybe their name is so unique, but maybe the thing that they do is unique, but they have competitors.
Yeah.
So could you talk a little bit about protecting your name versus protecting your place in that?
Yeah, sure. No, it's a very good point. I mean, I've had conversations with colleagues, about, paying to be on the top of Google. It's like, we just run a Google ad. So you can definitely do that. Then, you've got that place, at least you're, competing, and you're up there.
If it's your own trademark, you can do it.
Yeah. Well, for anything, I mean, you've got to decide. I mean, like, it goes back to what's your goal? And how much are you willing to spend on that goal? So Google Ads, this is not a product, it is, brand awareness. It's, lead generation. It's clicks to get a client. It's also, as you say, Jason, it's defending your turf. It's defending your bit of real estate. Which
reminds me, hey, remember that, Jason, when when Pantheon was paying, and Josh Strebel found this from Pagely.
Yes.
Tessa Creasel, Dwayne McDaniel,
Yes.
those were search terms, old employees to serve the Pantheon ad.
Yeah, because they know that they knew that their brand isn't as as important as the people that represent their brand, and they were using the people that represent the brand. It's almost like buying life insurance for your employees. I don't know, like some of this Google stuff gets me into thinking of like the mobster style, like, you know, that's a great website you got there. It'd be too bad if something got messed up with it, you know, that sort of thing. Where like you're essentially paying protection money to make sure that people find your site.
Of course you are. I mean, this is marketing, baby. I mean, it's just like you've got to pay that. But I mean, if you look at, if you look at Google, you know, if you I'm looking at, like, I'm Googling form plugins for WordPress. Okay. And yeah, I'm seeing a couple of ads, but to be honest, from where I'm sitting, the first two ads are for a hosting company for WordPress, and the third one is for Elementor. But my next result is a featured snippet for WP Forms.
Oh,
it's got the cute bear. I'm seeing, you know, all of these sorts of things. And where am I going to click? I'm probably going to click on the WP Forms because it's got a nice bear. It's got big real estate. It's not an ad, and it's right up there. It's answered exactly what I wanted. So, you know, that's important. And I mean, I'm going to say, because I've got a really bad memory, recently there was an amazing tweet and article and everything that went out showing us about, you know, what percentage of our clicks on Google are ads. You know, less than 2%. Less than 2% of all of those billions of clicks were on ads.
Wow.
And if you consider that Google ad revenue for that 2% was $150 billion, that's insane. And the rest, you know, are either search or nothing.
Well, and it's like a billboard. There's nobody clicking on a billboard either.
Yeah.
Remember Rand Fishkin wrote an article from SparkToro about how 60% of search results have 0 clicks.
That's the article. That's the article.
Nobody could click on a billboard. Nobody could click on a flyer. Nobody could, like, we're so obsessed in this digital age of having that first click lead and it being something. And those are unicorns. They don't exist. It doesn't happen. Human behavior, and this is what I always talk about, is human behavior is it takes 7 to 10 touches before you get a lead. 7 to 10 touches. It's not going to, it doesn't change at all with digital, right? Yeah. So the thing is, we're paying for one of those touches to be available to us. You have to advertise. Yeah. You have to have coupons if you're retail. Well, you don't have to. Or even Nordstrom's has a semi-annual sale.
Right.
It's not a coupon, but it's a semi-annual sale. Yeah. And even they have their discount store, the Rack, right?
Yeah.
So that retail part, but like, you know, when you're like we say that plugin space, that's kind of international and difficult, but what about, like, you know, you're Jason Tucker and you're building websites for a living. Like, let's just say you're Jason Tucker, you're building websites for a living. Yeah, that's also international because he could take anybody who wants to spend American dollars.
It is, but he's not going to get international, he's not going to get international clients. He's going to get local clients. He's going to get people who know who Jason Tucker is, because Jason Tucker here is the brand, and you're going to click on the brand that you know and that you trust and you've heard before.
So how does that know, trust, heard before factor into those $1 a day brand awareness searches?
Well, because Google is, you know, as we've seen, if you think of Google as an ad space, then 2% of Google's ad space are these ads. The other 98% of this billboard have nothing to do with your ad revenue. They have to do with your content marketing. So your everything on the right-hand side, they have to do with your SEO. So your rich snippets, your featured snippets, the question of the day that you're getting answered. That's 98% of your work right there. And the other 2% is, keeping up with the Joneses.
Well, and sometimes it's a long time too. Like
it's a long game. It's a long game.
Yeah, I'm a featured snippet for why I don't use the retweet button.
Yeah, okay.
But I wrote that in like 2011.
Still relevant.
Right. So like, to me, this just tells me that search, your dollar a day is just one piece of a holistic market.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Oh, definitely. It's an important part. But it's something you've got to do. And Google, Google's there with you. I mean, it makes a lot of money. It can be angry, it can take your money. Sure, but it's a business. It's not a charity. But it understands, it wants you to play. It offers the smart ads, which are perfect for small businesses. It enables you to run ads for 10 cents a day, so that you can get learnings. But it's also right there with you if you want to, spend 2, 5, 10, 100 a day. It'll be there with you, It'll let you spend your money if you want. It's up to you. But, I think, what's really important is that, people, if they say, I've got my $1 a day, that's $365 a year. So if I say to my small business, well, yeah, you do, but that's still $365 can be for certain small businesses still a chunk of change. And if I say, do you have $365 so I can run Google ads? They're going to say, no. If I say, do you have $1? Oh yeah. Okay, good, because that's it over the year. That's what you're going to be paying each day. I think it's very important, to think of it in that way. And of course, there's more you can do, but it depends what you really, what your goal is. You will get more information faster. You will be seen more often, if you're putting out, your $10,000. But, why are you putting that out? Are you putting that out to sell the product? And how many products do you need to sell to get your 10,000 back? Or is the space so competitive that you need to spend that money to defend your space? It could also be very relevant. As you always like to say, Bridget, about, cola and the billboards. The billboards don't sell Coke, but if Coke isn't there, Pepsi will be.
Right.
And that real estate is important to pay
Indeed.
for.
Indeed.
Thank you for bringing that up, because Jason, you know how we are in WordPress. When somebody's had a booth, they've had a booth, and now they don't have a booth. What do we all say?
Oh,
wow.
Is everything okay with them? What's going
Are
on?
they losing money?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Okay, like we love Beaver Builder. So everybody, I don't know about you, Warren. I know you're like purist with your child themes, but like these people and Rhonda, we love Beaver Builder. Okay. So, but most of their strategy was Robbie and Justin showing up at camps.
Right.
Well, 2020 took that away from us. So I started hearing from people in my ear and on Twitter, wow, Beaver Builder really, do you hear anything from them anymore? They redesigned their site, but nobody hears anything from them. There's a blog post maybe once a month. I don't even see them tweeting. I see everybody in their group bitching about Beaver Builder and them wanting it to be a form. The questions I see in that Facebook group, I would shut that down so fast. Like, why, how do I make a form with Beaver Builder? It's not a form plugin.
Right.
Hello.
Yeah.
But like when you all of a sudden don't show up, and even from the Coke Pepsi thing, when Pepsi was doing poorly, Coke reduced their ads because competition is good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I think when it comes to the ads, I mean, obviously, like always within business, it's good to know who your customer is. You know,
Yeah.
the customer for Beaver Builder isn't the end user person who's running a website. It's us. It's the ones that are building the websites for them. So it's advantageous for them to show up to a meetup, to one of our shows, to a Google, to any of these types of like things, because you want your peers to be able to see you, your customers to be able to see you. But when it's something like Jason's building websites for customers, for me, I need to be in front of them where they're at and where they're going to be and what their problems are, and I need to be answering the problems that they're needing. If I'm going to specialize in pizza parlor websites, I better be hitting every single thing. Do you need to do curbside pickup? I have a solution for curbside pickup. Any of those sorts of things. But then to top it off, you're saying that Jason's, web development company may only be getting, or maybe getting local engagement, and that's it, and maybe isn't getting international engagement when they're searching for these sorts of things, because people that don't know how web development works think that they need to go to the web developers store to go buy a website.
Yeah, or just like terms like building a website or WordPress, or WordPress developer in, and then any name of city. You get, I mean, we're oversaturated with these sorts of generic terms and searches, and I think people on one hand might just give up kind of easy. That's I mean, you can take your chance. I mean, there's nothing wrong. I mean, I run so many different ads all the time for these sorts of general searches. Everything from building websites, offering SEO, all of these sorts of things. I mean, I've never to this day received a call based on this, or an email or anything. I do learn a lot.
Doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't happen. I learn a lot about what people are searching for, and I like to see what those searches do to activate the ad. But that's why they're running. The calls I do get are from people who are searching for something, and then I'm getting bounced off from organic search, from a larger player like a school, a company, these sorts of things. But the searches are very specific. People are looking for specific courses, specific services, either digital competencies or SEO. And then they're always, because I always ask, people always put in what they want, and they always put in where they want it.
Right.
They're always putting in that location. The geography is really, really important. I think the furthest away I've had a call is maybe from Frankfurt, which is maybe a 6-hour drive. Otherwise, everything is very, very local, which is fine. For my international clients, I find that also the searches that they're getting, the clicks they're getting, really are based on their location. I mean, Google really knows where you are and really keeps those clicks local. The other thing that I think is really good, and you can also get a lot of traction, is for a small budget. Back to these search terms. I tweeted about this last week. I have a client, and they want to run Google Ads, and so we're setting up an account, and then they remembered they had an account, and they've been running one Google ad since June 2005. So 16 years they've been running this one old text ad, which just has a link to their homepage, has their company on their homepage, links to their, their company name and the keywords, what they do. And, they had like 27,000 clicks or something like this, and they don't know if they got any business from this because they never really tracked it or thought about it. But the fascinating thing about this is they sell a very basic, boring product. And there's probably maybe, a dozen ways that you can talk about this product or that we use on their website. There were 8,326 unique search terms that activated that ad over the last 15 years, which means 8,326.
Wow.
So that means there are more than 8,000 ways to think about this product. And that's like, that's amazing product, amazing learnings. And, they also, it was like, they were at $3 a day, and they just let it run. They've never touched it, never put any negative keywords, nothing. It's just it was pure. It was like dust. I shared this with some partners. It was just like, data archaeologists, like, this is so amazing. It's like, oh, wow. Like finding a website in WordPress 2.3 or something,
Right.
But I think that says a lot because you would never have known this without this sort of investment, which might be a little extreme in this example, but this really helped. This opened up a whole different way of, doing, putting their for their landing pages. We started putting in different questions. We, relaunched their landing pages and things based on some of these information that we had. And they were surprised as well. It's like, people looked for this term, no idea. Well, now you know.
Right.
Oh, now you
that's
know.
great.
How many ads should they have ran? Like, what wouldn't have been surprising to you if it go, because of the fact they've been running it for so long? What would not have been surprising? Like, just like 10 ads, 5 ads, 3 ads?
This depends on the product. This depends on the company.
No, but for this specific case.
Yeah.
For this specific one, they have 2 languages. It's English and German. They run 10 different products, multiple services in different countries. I mean, how many ads should they be running? Multiple, like really. And for them, what we would like to do is do an ad group for each product to start with. And
in each language?
Yeah.
So that
because
would be,
the terms are completely different, and they're
selling $1 a day per, right? Like if we're using this $1 a day, thing that we've been talking about. Okay,
yeah.
Is that $1 a day per each one of those ads?
For each ad. So let's say, but for them, then we'd probably be looking at least 30 a day, at least. Yeah, because I mean, then I would want to also get into not the product, but the problem these products are solving. This is it's a huge amount of work. So what we've done is we said, okay, what's important now? And in Germany, it is the coronavirus. We need we're focusing on their product that filters the air specifically for clean, air in the workplace. And the benefits, the health benefits to you in general, outside of the workplace. So clean air, clean work. So there, then we're focusing on, 2 product lines in 2 languages for in 2 directions, your workplace and everything. So then we've got like 6 different ads. So we're running like, I think it's like 12 a day, 12 euros a day, just to get this, going, because we've got the new landing pages and they've also just got into social media. But I was surprised that there wasn't something for each product, because I've have other clients where you have an ad group for each product, and then you start breaking it out for different interest groups for these products. If we're talking cat food, well, cat food is not just cat food.
Some people want to spend a lot of money on their cat food.
There's that, and there's special dietary needs. There's the kids
Diabetic
looking
cats.
for cat foods, the vets. I mean, and just boom, it really multiplies. But most small businesses don't have that, I mean, okay, some small businesses do. So, you can really start if you've got, a product and service, you can really start small, and then you can start moving up,
So, because we're almost over this part, but call to action here, like you would partner with like one of our listeners, for example, who builds a website and says, here's your website. Let's run $1 a day for a month. See what the intent actually is with the keywords with the, what did you say? The search terms that actually activate the term, not your keywords, the terms that actually activate the ads.
Yeah.
Then massage the copy. You can pause them or put them down to like 25, 50 cents.
Well, once they're happy with the results.
Yeah. And then you don't have to, you're not committed. Like I could do $2 for 2 weeks and then pause it.
You could. I mean,
you're allowed to. You're not in a financial commitment. Of course, you're allowed to.
Yeah, it's
okay.
You can do this. I mean, Google's great. As much money, as little money. Stop, start, stop, start. It's it's not great to like keep starting the ads. It's always better. Just like that's why it's better if you don't want to spend your money. You say keep it running. Don't stop, but keep it running and put it down for like 25, 50 cents. Because then you've got to start, the learnings up. You've lost learnings. You've lost traction. Yeah.
So, I mean, that would be a good strategy for a new website, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, now that I've got a lot of really positive response from clients who weren't keen on doing ads before. Now they're all doing it. They're all getting into Google My Business. They're all really excited. And because they never believed in Google Ads before, when they get their first email, it says, hey, I saw your ad. I'm interested in this. They are so excited because then they immediately do this calculation and goes, I just got a client and I spent $34.
That's cool.
And then they're like, wow, I thought this was going to cost thousands. And, so that's really nice.
Because that's your bread and butter. You build websites.
I can build websites. I also build websites.
You build stop. So like, just so everybody knows, like you've been building websites longer than a lot of our friends have been alive. Real life, right?
Since 94, 98.
Okay. Yeah. So that's when I graduated from college. So like,
oh, that's so cute.
You can add that. You can add that as a service.
Yeah.
To get people to see, to get your clients to see that your website is valuable. It's a valuable service.
You have to have a website.
It's a value add.
Yeah, it's really important. You need to have that. I think, though. I mean, times are changing. Google My Business will give you a free website.
Yeah. Well, they can also shut you down. They can also shut you down. It took me 6 months to get my Google My Business back because I changed my address before I actually physically arrived here.
Oh, bad move.
So this is why we own our own property. But
you have to own your own property.
Yeah. So let's move to our own tool or tip of the week.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to share my screen because Jason's, in his car. But so anyway, here's the thing. So what I want to share is this is a free tool you get from ShareThrough, which is a headline analyzer, which is my favorite. I try to get above 70. And this free download you get them are these context words, and it groups them by, what kind of subject it is,
Okay.
If you're looking for relative, or if you're looking for insight or time, like you can use these words in your headline and it's super helpful. So that's one thing that I really like doing. And it really, it changed the effectiveness of the headlines that I write, both for myself and for my clients. So the actual tool for ShareThrough is headlines.sharethrough.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really
Nice.
cool. It's free.
Nice.
Might as
Free
well
is
take
good.
it. Because remember Tess told us about this one?
Yes.
And I love this so much. I use it too because this is also like, oh, you want to minimize risk? Here's some words. You want
Nice.
to talk about self-improvement? Here's some words. And I knew I was getting in a rut. So as soon as Tess said that, I was like, I'm buying it.
Smart.
Nice.
What tool do you have?
Should I share my screen?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, okay. Share. Share screen and share screen. Okay, there we go. Can you see this guy?
Not yet.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm such a noob. Okay, now can you see the guy?
Window. Yes.
Okay, answer the public. I really like that. I mean, the guy's a little creepy.
He's a lot creepy.
Well, okay, the guy's a lot creepy, but I like it. You know, you can put in like words. Sometimes, like I'll just put in my own name because I'm so sad, and then it really gives you like all of the like a nice visualization of you know, questions people are asking and like combinations. Oh, no one's asked any questions. There you go. Yeah. So when, where, I don't know. Okay, it was a bad thing. I should put chocolate or something in. And it lets you compare words and things. I think that's pretty awesome for when you're, you know, kind of like, you know, an SEO keyword check. You know, it's yeah. I don't know when I discovered that, kind of recently, and the guy was kind of freaky, but yeah, that would probably be my week takeaway, one of them.
Yeah, I did a search on that for Twitter.
Oh yeah,
like,
okay.
well, I got a lot of blog posts to write.
Yeah. It's a nice idea as well. Yeah,
that's cool. So my tour tip is one that I've talked about in the past, but I'm going to bring it back because I'm using it today. So the one I'm going to talk about here is called Trip Mode, and I'm out on a very socially distanced drive with my daughter. Her and I are out driving into Utah, and so, you know, we're hours away, and I've had to do a couple of small little client things that have popped up, and I'm like, oh, I got to go take care of that. And I found that, you know, when you're on limited internet, it's very difficult to deal with having all the things on your computer doing what they think it should be doing. So for instance, you know, I took a bunch of pictures. So now my computer's trying to download pictures that I've done. It's trying to upload pictures. Dropbox is trying to do its thing.
Oh yeah.
Like, everything's happening. So with Trip Mode, what you can do with this is it shows up as a little thing on the top bar on a Mac. If you're on Windows, there's a couple different companies that make something similar to this, but I'm going to focus on the Mac because that's what I use. So you click on this little train, and then what it does is it tells you up on the top here how many megs you've used in this session, and then you can click a check mark next to each of these apps that you want to actually use, so you can enable these.
Okay.
All the rest of them, like Google Drive, iCloud, so on and so forth, all of these are blocked. So like during this entire time we've been doing this show, I blocked everything but Chrome, and I had to go in and unblock Safari because I'm using Safari because it's a nice clean interface to be able to do this. But what it does is it makes it so you can block all of those apps so they don't go and start talking out on the internet. It also shows you if you're someone who tethers onto your phone and your mobile phone, and that company only gives you a certain amount of bandwidth, you can actually set that bandwidth parameters up so you can watch that to make sure you're not going over that. Also, it shows you how many megs you've been using while you've been tethered or while you've been connected to that, and which websites you were using that was eating up the most. So for instance, for me right now, during this entire session, I've used 1.6 gigs worth of data that I've both sent and received this entire time we've been doing this. So it's a cool product. It's something you should definitely take a look at. There's different profiles you can set. So if you're doing something very specific, like if you hop on the train and you only use email while you're on the train, you can tell it only use email and blocks everything else. Any of those sorts of things. If you're playing a game or you're streaming and you want to make sure that everything's blocked but this is a great way to do it. Nice. So that's Trip Mode. It's I want to say it's like $12 or something. I get it through a service that I've been using for years called SetApp.
Yeah.
Where you pay for it once and you get access to a bunch of different applications. But feel free to go take a look at that and see if it's something that works for you. I forgot that I had it with SetApp because I was like, oh, do I still have an account with them? Loaded up SetApp and I was able to download it. So
perfect.
It's good stuff. It's something that will definitely save you because, I'm sitting here using limited internet and I wanted to make sure that I'm having a good conversation and I'm not going to delay myself by pushing out updates and my Mac's trying to download an update, any of those silly sorts of things.
What's funny is you're actually like more clear than when your daughter is in school Zooming at the same time.
I just need to go to McDonald's down the street from my house to use it. And I kid you not, this McDonald's that I'm at today is busy.
I can't believe how good your internet is at McDonald's.
Yeah, I'm out in the parking lot. I'm loving it. Oh, boy.
Cool.
Well, I'm loving my ads. They are giving me a lot of insight and things I could be writing about as well. Like normally I write a blog post on Friday. I'm probably not going to. I'm going to go have lunch with Rhonda. So whatever.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. Well, I get to have some friends. That's a good benefit of,
So if somebody's wanting to start doing this, Warren, and you were talking about how it's really difficult for someone who has never ran an ad to start up. If you do it wrong by, just throwing some money in at it, set it for $1 a day, point it to your homepage and wait 14 years or whatever. I'm just joking because we're going back to that. If you did something like that, that person was probably fairly easy to jump in and go like, hey, let's take a look at your ads. Oh, you have one ad and it's pointed at your homepage. You have zero tracking on it. You have nothing whatsoever. Let's figure this out. Let's go back and look through it. And so for someone like you who maybe would, if someone were to approach you, one of our listeners or something wanted to approach you and say, hey, I've never ran ads before. You'd probably be happier if they were actually running an ad. So you at least have some of that analytical data to look at, right?
Yes and no. I like it when they've never run it because then we're both on the same page. It's not like, they're not scared. It's like, let's do this. And so I've done people who have never had experience and those people who have a lot of experience and just, haven't had time to do it. It's fine either way, no roadblock there. I like the newbies and I like the people who say, this is not working for me. How can we improve, this campaign?
Right.
Yep.
So should they go and spend $1 a day and just run an ad and point it at one of their landing pages and give it a shot and see how it goes?
Yeah, they definitely should. I mean, it's $1 a day.
We should experiment it for our podcast.
You should definitely do it. I mean, what are you going to lose?
$1.
You're not even going to lose it. You're going to get information though. And if you've never run Google Ads, then you're going to see, wow, this is really cool and easy. And so now you can do something that you couldn't do before. Right. And you get a lot of wins for this $30.
And I'd like to say, look, if you can't spend $30, if you can't spend $25 on website hosting, you shouldn't be in business. If you can't spend $30 on Google Ads, look, I wrote that blog post, remember a long time ago, Jason, 25 things I spend more than $25 on. I just bought a $45 bottle of scotch.
Right.
Ocean something, blah, blah. From Scotland. I don't even know how you say it. Oshentoshan. It's like
you didn't even Google search it.
Yeah, Google. I mean, if you don't have the money though, Google will help you. I mean, they have small business funds. They have nonprofit. I mean, if you are stuck and you're worthy, Google will help you out.
But a lot of times they're offering $50 to hang
$50, $75. You download the app on your phone, you get another $50. You do Google My Business, you get $80.
Yeah,
they're throwing money at you.
Right.
Take the money.
And I would also recommend, I don't know what you think, Warren, but like, don't do a Google ad to your homepage. Make a landing page.
Do a landing page if you can. If you don't have a landing page, the homepage is better than nothing.
Yeah, but we're talking to people who build websites for a living.
Then to the landing page,
Y'all can make a landing page, and then that way you know what came from there. There should be a form. And then here's the other part that's really important with any kind of marketing. We should end every show with this, Jason. When a lead comes to you from your marketing efforts, you need to ask where they found you. Don't accept the internet as an answer. Keep a record of that, and then figure out how much money and how much of your business comes from where.
Yeah.
Then you know what your efforts are. 8% of my traffic over the last year comes from Twitter. Most of it is brand awareness. But when you look at my lead scoring, 85% of my revenue comes from Twitter. 8% traffic, 85% revenue. When I go and actually categorize that leads, I get a client from Rhonda. Rhonda's my friend, but where did I meet her first? Twitter.
Right.
So that is a lead from Twitter, right? So you have to keep a record of how you get your leads, and you only can measure the information you ask for.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for ending on that note.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Uh-oh.
He's frozen.
He's about to say, here's our outro.
He's frozen.
Oh my God.